Hello everybody, my name's Liz, I'm the baker that sews. Welcome to my channel if you're new and welcome back if you are a subscriber. As always, it's really lovely to have you here as I share my sewing journey. So welcome back to my channel. If you are a subscriber and you've followed me for a while, you'll know that I regularly publish vlogs on a Sunday and they are my Sunday sewing catch-ups. So I missed one last weekend. I've been really busy filming my Vlogmas videos, which I'm really enjoying. And I had my in-laws round last weekend, so I just didn't get the chance to film a Sunday sewing catch-up. I did make my notes, but I've edited them for this weekend. I made all of my notes in anticipation of filming the video, but we had them over for lunch. And what tends to happen when they come over for lunch is then they stay until the evening. And then it was the Strictly results. And then yeah, time just got carried away. I didn't get a chance to film it, so apologies for that, but I am back this weekend with a Sunday sewing catch up and we're on episode 24. So I've got a couple of things to share with you what I've been sewing. I've got some fabric that I'd like to talk about, and I've got a couple of patterns, and then the plans that I've got for the next week. So we've got a week until Christmas. I'm really excited and I've got lots of Christmassy plans that I can't wait to get stuck into. I've got a cup of tea behind me. I've sort of half drunk it, but I am going, after filming this video, I'm going to get my COVID booster jab. So I'm on a bit of a tight schedule in terms of being able to get this video filmed. I spent a long time today getting lots and lots of things cut out in anticipation of having lots of time to sew. It's my husband's birthday on Tuesday, so I won't be able to do any sewing on Tuesday, but we've got a lovely day to look forward to. We're going to go out for lunch, and we've got a couple of things as surprises for him, so I'm not going to say any more. He doesn't watch my videos, but just in case he does watch this video, I'm not going to say any more, but I will film snippets of Tuesday in my Vlogmas video. We've broken up from school now, so I have got a little bit more time to devote to filming. I've also got, it means that I've got a little bit more content during the day rather than just being able to talk about my school day. Because when I was doing Vlogmas, when I was teaching, I didn't really have a huge amount happening during the school day. And then in the evening, I don't get home until about 5:30, 6 o'clock. So it's generally cooking dinner, unless I've got any fabric or patterns to talk about. But over the next couple of days, we've got a couple of Christmassy things, hopefully, as long as things don't get cancelled. So I'll be able to bring you along for those. And a quick drink of tea. So I'll start as usual with things that I've been sewing. And the first thing is what I'm wearing at the moment. And it is the Deer & Doe Sirocco jumpsuit. It's a pattern that I talked about a few weeks ago. I was in the middle of sewing. I got this amazing tie-dye cotton jersey fabric from a Sew Hayley Jane outlet. From the Sew Hayley Jane outlet shop. This was in the luxury box for November, and I get the classic box, so I was very envious of all the people that get the luxury box because I loved this fabric. And then Hayley shared that she puts them in the outlet shop. It was really popular. I don't know if there's any left, but if there is, I'll pop a link down below to where it is. I'd originally planned to turn it into a dress, but then when I was sorting through my patterns, I was reminded of the Deer & Doe Sirocco jumpsuit, and that's what I've turned it into. So I'm going to wear it today as I go and get my booster jab. They can get access to my arm, and it is really comfortable to wear. I love the print. It's a bit bold and really bright and really fun. So it's on a white background, and then it's got purple and blue, and then sort of different shades, like there's pink as well, tie-dye effect. It's a faux wrap, so the wrap is actually stitched into the waistband. You have a front waistband and a back waistband. It's got short sleeves, and then it obviously crosses over. And I'll stand up so you can see. It's also got these lovely deep pockets, which I really love. And then there's pleats on the front here, and then the pockets. And then this is what the back looks like, and you've got darts in the back. I'll stand up so you can see what the legs look like. They're fairly tapered, and they stop below my ankle actually. I've got some really fun socks on today that were a Secret Santa present. They've got donuts all over them. I love this. I'll put pictures in of me wearing it so you can see what it looks like as well. It's really comfortable and it definitely feels like secret pyjamas. I've got the Deer & Doe Sirocco pattern here actually. So I'll show you the front. This is what it looks like. This is the version that I've sewn up. So it's got that faux wrap here, and then the lovely pockets and quite a tapered leg. And then you can also make this play suit version too. I've got the size that goes up to a 46, but I think they've extended the size range for this pattern. So I'll pop a link to where you can find more information out about this pattern. It's a mock wrap knit jumpsuit with short set-in sleeves and pleated trousers. Version A has got tapered legs and version B is a romper. And in terms of fabric recommendations, they recommend medium weight jersey or interlock knit like a cotton, rayon or wool containing elastane with good recovery and at least 60% stretch. Allow extra fabric to match the stripes or plaids. I made this using 2 meters of fabric, and I just had enough to sew it up. I didn't really have a huge amount of the fabric left over, and I'm really pleased with how it has turned out. So that was the first thing I wanted to talk about in terms of sewing. And then the next two are the same pattern. I have got pictures of me wearing one of these. I might pop the other one on just over the top of this just so you can see what it looks like, because I haven't managed to get photos of this one yet. But I've been sewing up Christmas jumpers to wear to school, and I did manage to wear both of these to school, and the children absolutely loved them. I used one of my favourite jumper patterns, which is the Nina Lee Southbank sweater. You can either make a sweater or you can make it into a dress. For these versions, I've done the cropped version, but I've added the band on the bottom. So the first one is this amazing dinosaur print Christmas jersey fabric that I got from First for Fabrics. I love it. I think it's so fun, and I think it's a little bit different as well because it's got the dinosaurs on. Some of them are wearing party hats, the snowmen, some of them have got Christmas lights all over them, and the children really enjoyed seeing me wear this to work. I wore this one on Christmas jumper day actually. I'll pop it on just so you can see what it looks like, but obviously I've got my sirocco jumpsuit on underneath, so it doesn't really go. So I really love the Southbank sweater. It's not quite as fitted as something like the Tilly and the Buttons Freya, but it is still fitted. It's not like super baggy. You've got a little bit of room up here. I really love the collar detail. It makes it feel really cozy. And then you've also got this cuff detail on the sleeves, which again just makes it feel really cozy. I really love pulling the sleeves over my hands like this when it's chilly outside. And then I'll stand up so you can see what the hem looks like, but I have still got my jumpsuit on, so it really doesn't go. So without the band, this is what the cropped version would look like. It would stop just on my natural waist. But I like to do the cropped version, and then I just add to the front band, and then obviously the back band as well. And then it means that it stops where my hips are. And I just really like that. I wore it with a Camden skirt actually the other day, and I wore my other jumper with the Camden skirt too, and it went really nicely with that. This is great to wear under dungarees as well, and it's really great to wear with trousers. So I'm really pleased with this one. So I've worn this to work a couple of times already. And I'm going to wear it over the festive period. So I'll just take this off so you can see the other one, and I did manage to get photos of the other one, so I'll just hold it up so I can show you the features of the pattern. So I've actually talked about this jumper in my Vlogmas video because I was sewing it up on Thursday before work on Friday. This amazing cat print fabric is from Faye, the lovely Faye, Studio Jepson. I don't know if she's got any left, but if she has, I'll link it down below for you. This was in the wash, and I've just pulled it out of the wash, so it is a little bit crumpled. It's got all these cats that are sat in stockings, and I love them. They've got little party hats on. Some of them are wrapped in lights, so it's a similar sort of theme to the dinosaur jersey actually. Just thought it was super cute. We are massive cat fans in this house. We don't have any cats, but we are hoping to when we eventually move. So this is the Nina Lee Southbank sweater. It's got this lovely collar detail, which is quite deep, so it makes it really snuggly. And then you've got the lovely cuff detail here, and again that just makes it really snuggly. And then what I tend to do is I make the cropped version, so you saw that with the dinosaur jumper, and then you just add a hemband on the bottom, and then you also add a hemband on the back, and it just means that it's a super snuggly cozy jumper. And I love the Southbank sweater. I've sewn up so many versions now. It's quite straightforward to sew up. It comes together really nicely as well, so I would definitely recommend it as a jumper pattern if you haven't sewn it up already. I've made the dress version as well of it a couple of times. I don't tend to wear that if I'm honest, but it is a super comfortable pattern. I just prefer to sew up the jumper, and I just loved that cotton jersey fabric too in that lovely baby pink colour. It's really lovely. And then keeping with the Christmas outfits for school, we had our Christmas party on Tuesday with the children, and I sewed up a Christmas themed dress. So I'm just going to grab the dress for you. It's on the hanger at the moment. I did manage to get photos of myself wearing this, so I'll pop images in so you can see. But it is using this incredible Nutcracker cotton jersey. There's a bit of a theme with my Christmas outfits for work this week. I just wanted to be super snuggly and really cosy, so I've used cotton jersey for all of them. And it did mean that I was nice and cosy and warm at school, particularly for party day because the children were super excited. So it's got this really fun Nutcracker print all over it, which I absolutely love. And I used 2 Tilly and the Buttons patterns. So I used the Freya jumper, but I just cropped it. So I laid the pattern piece up against myself and then traced off where I wanted the waistline to hit. And I wanted it to be at my natural waist. So that's where I traced it off. And then I added the skirt from the Tilly and the Buttons Joni dress, which is from, I think it's from the Stretch book, which I'll grab in a second. But it's created this really lovely, drapey, swishy skirt, which is exactly what I wanted for a party dress. It's a really lovely wide skirt. And then I just went for long sleeves. And then you've got this lovely neckband as well, not quite as deep as the Southbank. And the Freya top is more fitted than the Southbank sweater as well, and you'll see that when I pop images in of what the dress looks like. So I'll just grab the book so I can show you the pattern. So it's from the Tilly and the Buttons Stretch book, and I used 2 patterns from this book. I used the Freya top, which I'll find 98. So I used this top, and that's sort of where I traced it off to at the natural waist. And I really love, that's the line drawing. I really love that neckline. The long sleeves meant that I was really cosy at work as well. And you can just see on the line drawings where it naturally goes in, and that's where I traced it off. There's a bit of trial and error, if I'm honest, by holding up the pattern piece. And then when I cut it, I basted it and tried it on and just checked that that's where I wanted the waistline to sit. Also thinking about the fact that I needed to keep a seam allowance on there for when I attach the skirt. And I'm really pleased with where that waist does sit. And then I used the skirt for the Joni dress. So this is the Joni dress. Now, Sew Over It have released quite a similar pattern to the Joni dress. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put a picture in so you can see. Because the downside of the Stretch book is the patterns aren't inclusive. I think they only go up to a UK, I think it's a UK 20. So it goes up to, they're Tilly and the Buttons size 1 to 8. Yeah, so it's a UK 20, US 16 and European 48. But I know that the Sew Over It pattern is very similar to the Joni. I've made it and I can't remember what the pattern's called, so sorry about that. I'll put a picture in so you can see what the pattern's actually called. It's one of their most recent releases. It's not the cardigan that they've just released, but there's a dress that they released. And that has got the twist front, and the skirt isn't exactly the same, but it is quite a drapey skirt. So it would work really well if you were looking to mash up a couple of things, but I just used the skirt, so you can see the skirt pattern here. It's meant to be quite drapey. It's got that really lovely shape as well. So I used the skirt from the Tilly and the Buttons Joni dress, and then the top for the Freya, which can also be made into a dress. And then I ended up with this really lovely party dress, which I really enjoyed wearing to work. And again, I'll wear this over the festive period as well. I might even wear this on Christmas Day, although I'm cooking dinner on Christmas Day and this is white, so that's probably not a good idea. Although I could cook dinner and then get changed into this if I wanted to. We'll see. I've got a couple of other things that I could wear on Christmas Day. I've got a really sparkly gold jumpsuit that I made. I don't think I made it last year, I think I made it the year before. I used the Zadie pattern, the Zadie jumpsuit by Paper Theory, and I used some fabric that I got from a Saheli Jane box to turn it into a jumpsuit, so I could wear that. I'm not quite decided yet, but I'm really pleased with this. This is a dress that I know I will get out every year and I'll wear it to school, and the children really enjoyed looking at all the different characters all over the dress as well, like the soldiers and the ballerina. And the different instruments that you've got, and the mistletoe, and the really cute little rocking horse as well. It's just adorable. And the little mice. They really loved seeing, where are the mice there? The little mice as well. So it was really fun. And then I also sewed up a dress for my daughter, my youngest daughter. So they were having a mufti day at their school. They finished on Thursday and they were having a wear your own clothes day to school. And she asked me on, I think it might have been Wednesday evening, no, Tuesday evening, she asked me, could I make her a dress to wear to school? Which I always really love. I love that they want to wear things that I've made for them. So we had a look in our pattern stash. So we had a look in the pattern stash behind me, and I was reminded of a pattern which I'd got out a few weeks ago actually, because I was thinking about what dress we could sew together over Christmas, because my youngest daughter is really enjoying sewing. And I was reminded of the pattern, the By Hand London Little Flora dress, which I'm just going to grab because I've left it over on my sewing machine. So it's this pattern, the By Hand London Little, I think it's called, yeah, Little Flora dress. It's got a fairly fitted bodice, and then it's got this gorgeous sort of twirly skirt, which she absolutely loved wearing. And it's also got, I don't know if you can tell on the picture, but it's got a dipped hem. You can see it better on the back. It's got a dipped hem at the back. There are 3 different variations on the straps, so you can do plain straps, a ruffle, or you can do like a tie on the straps as well. We went for the plain strap, which you can see here. It comes in ages 18 to 24 months up to 13 years. When I looked at the measurements, I wanted to make sure that I sewed a dress that she could wear a couple of times, so not just this Christmas, but hopefully next Christmas. So there were a couple of adaptations that I made to the pattern to make sure that next Christmas we'll be able to adapt it so that she can still wear it. So I used this fun fabric that I got from the lovely Faye, Studio Jepson's, and it says, I'd rather stay at Hogwarts this Christmas. She absolutely loves Harry Potter, she loves listening to the books, and we've watched the films together as well. I love this fabric. So she's got the plain straps, as you can see. It's got a fairly fitted bodice with the lovely scoop for the arms. It's got this gorgeous skirt, and on the front it's got the knife pleats, and on the back it's got box pleats. You probably can't see it very well. And then it's also got, it's also got an invisible zip, and then the bodice is also fully lined. So you can see that's the outside and that's the inside. So the couple of things that I did to hopefully make sure that she can wear it next Christmas was I added little darts in the back near where the straps are. So I sewed up a size that I knew was too big for her, and then to fit it to her, I've just added little darts by the strap just here, so I'll be able to unpick those next year. I also used a larger seam allowance so that I can let that out next year if I need to. And then I also did a larger hem on the skirt so that I can unpick that, give it an iron, and then re-hem it with a narrower hem, hopefully, so that she has got room to grow into it next year. She loved wearing it, and she's really excited about wearing it over Christmas as well, which is always really lovely. I loved sewing this dress up. It's sewed together really nicely. I did sew it in one evening. It took me just over 3 hours to sew it up. And that was me completely focusing on just sewing the dress, fitting it onto her. And it came together really nicely. It was a really, really enjoyable sew. So she's going to have a go at sewing this herself over Christmas, obviously with my guidance and support where she needs it. It's got the fitted bodice and then that lovely skirt. Like I said, it's got knife pleats in the front of the skirt and then box pleats in the back. It's got an invisible zip, and then it's got that dipped hem as well. And it was a really, really enjoyable sew. And then the bodice is also fully lined. The instructions really hold your hand all the way through. And it was a really straightforward dress to put together actually. I'd already cut it out. I'd cut it out the night before. So all I had to do on Wednesday evening was sew it up. It was really enjoyable spending a couple of hours just solely focusing on sewing up the dress. And I think because I knew that she wanted to wear it to school on Thursday, there was a little bit of pressure on me to make sure that I got it finished. And I work really well when I've got a deadline to work towards. It makes me really concentrate on what I'm doing. So I did manage to get it sewn up. They recommend lightweight woven fabrics with a bit of body, like a viscose rayon, floaty silks and wool crepe. However, stable fabrics will work beautifully too, like a quilting cotton, and that's what I've used. It's a quilting cotton. A cotton lawn, batiste, shirting, voile, linen, embroidery, onglet. So I'm really looking forward to helping her create a little party dress over the Christmas holidays, and she's going to have lots of fun going through my fabric stash and choosing a fabric that she'd like to turn into this. And just to say, if you are going to sew up an age 12 or 13, you need to make sure that your fabric is 60 inches wide, otherwise the skirt pattern pieces won't fit on there. But really enjoyable sew. She really enjoyed wearing it to school, and I'm really pleased that we've got a pattern that works really well for her too. So the next thing I wanted to share with you was some fabric that has arrived in the post for me. A couple of fabrics I've already shared with you if you've watched my Vlogmas videos. A couple of fabrics I haven't shared yet. So the first one is this incredible faux fur fabric that I got from Felicity Fabrics. It is so incredibly soft. It just feels so lovely. Like, this would work really well as a blanket. So I bought this with an idea in my mind to turn it into a coat for my youngest daughter who loves pink. This I think was described as marshmallow pink. It's a really lovely soft sort of baby pink. If I hold it up, you'll be able to see how beautifully it drapes. It's got an absolutely gorgeous amount of movement to it, and I think this is just going to be such a lovely... I was either going to sew it into a coat or turn it into a cape, and actually there's a pattern that I'm going to talk about a little bit later on in this video that I think this fabric would work really well with. I think I've got 2 meters, so I've got plenty to play around with. So at the moment I've been doing a little bit of research on coats. It's not a surprise for her, and somebody suggested why don't I get her to choose what she'd like. So I'm going to get her to have a little look on the Fold line. I find that a really great website when I'm not sure what pattern to use, because you can there's different filters if you're searching for a specific pattern. So I'll be looking for a coat. I've already got a cape pattern, so I'm going to get her to have a look at the coats, and then we'll compare a coat pattern to a cape pattern and see which one she wants. But this fabric is beautiful. It's so lovely and soft, and I think it's going to make a really lovely coat or cape for Lola, and I think she'll really enjoy wearing it. And then I also got some sparkly tulle fabric from Felicity Fabrics, and I'm just going to grab it because I forgot to pick it up. So it's going to be a bit tricky to show you because it's forest green in colour, but look at that sparkle on the fabric. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to turn this into yet, but when I saw that they had tulle fabric, I've been looking for a green tulle fabric because I used a ice blue fabric, I think it was last Christmas, to sew up a Elsa themed Tilly and the Buttons indigo dress. And I used a linen fabric for the sort of inside of the dress, and then I used the tulle fabric for like an outer lay. And then I used the Tilly and the Buttons Billy sleeve pattern because it's quite a voluminous sleeve pattern. And then I just finished the cuff with a little bit of elastic, and I loved that dress so much. It was a dress that I made last Christmas just for the fun of it. I didn't really have anywhere specific to wear the dress to, but I actually ended up wearing it to school for a dress up day. So I've had a couple of ideas. I might just copy what I did last year and use the Tilly and the Buttons indigo dress. Or I could use the Dear and Do Myosotis dress and then just wear a long sleeve top on underneath and then a skirt underneath as well. Or I could use the Anna Allen Anthea blouse dress, because you get a waist, you get a belt pattern piece, so I could make a belt. I'm not quite sure. I've got a good couple of meters. I think I might have got 3 meters of this fabric, but I want to turn it into some kind of dress with as like an outer lay and then wear something on the inside underneath. So I'm not quite sure what pattern I'm going to use for this, but I just fell in love with that colour and that gorgeous gold sparkle. I think it'd be a really fun dress. So I may just copy what I did last year, or I may have a think about some patterns that I've already got in my stash that I could sew up and almost use this as like an outer lay. I don't know if that makes sense. And then wear something underneath so that this fabric really gets to shine. And what I did last year when I sewed up the indigo dress was I kept the sleeves as just the tulle fabric, so you could really see that beautiful tulle fabric. So a couple of ideas, not set in stone, but I'm really looking forward to sewing something fun using this tulle fabric. Or I could just layer it and sew up a really fun skirt. Few ideas, not set in stone exactly what I'm going to do with that fabric. And then I've got some fabric that I got from Felicity Fabrics. I haven't even unwrapped the bow yet because I've been waiting for the Christmas holidays so I can sew this up. So the lovely Tamlin, who has sewn on the time, got in touch to suggest some fabric that I could use when I asked a few weeks ago about some fabric. I want to sew up my rainbow bomber jacket using the quilting fabric that I got from Fabric Godmother. It's a gorgeous like shimmery rainbow fabric, but I'm really scared about just cutting straight into that pattern. I've got a couple of bomber jacket patterns in mind, and I want to toile them so that I can really figure out which pattern is what I've got in my head. So Tamlin got in touch to say that First for Fabrics had some quilting fabric in stock, and that would be perfect for toiling the coat. So she sent me a couple of pictures of the fabric that they've got in the shop, because they don't have them on their website at the moment. And then I was sent an invoice, and I chose this green quilting fabric, which is going to be difficult to show up on screen. I think it was £5 a metre. So I bought a good couple of metres of that, and I'm going to use this as a toile fabric before I sew up my rainbow bomber jacket. And then over Christmas, I'm going to toile it, and then hopefully, or not hopefully, I'm definitely going to sew up my rainbow bomber jacket, because I can't wait to wear it. And I wanted to make sure that I had enough headspace and I wasn't too tired to tackle the fabric and the pattern, and then hopefully have an amazing bomber jacket, which I'm super excited about sewing up. So those are my plans with this fabric. I'm going to use it as a toile, and then hopefully it'll turn out as a wearable toile. And I've got a couple of zips that would work with that, and I've got some cuffing that would work really well for that as well. And then I've got a stash of fabrics that I got from Rainbow Fabrics. I've just got the notes in front of me of what the fabrics are called, so that I can link them in the description below if they've got them in stock still. But they always release collections of fabric, and this wasn't the most recent collection because they've just released a collection of wools. And I've managed to resist buying any of those because I do not need any more fabric. And I bought 4 different types of fabric. So the first one I've got is called Tiger Sketch Viscose Jersey, and I've got 3 meters of this fabric. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to turn it into yet. It is a very thin fabric, so I feel like this would be something for the spring summer, and it may become a Westcliff dress, which is the Friday Pattern Company. I fell in love with the print because it's got these huge cats all over it. So it's called Tiger Sketch. They look a little bit like leopards, but I think they are meant to be tiger faces. Just fell in love with that print. They're enormous. So I feel like it needs to be a dress of some sort. So I might use the new pattern by Sew Over It, because they've just released a jersey sort of maxi dress. Or I might use the Friday Pattern Company Westcliff dress, because that's one of my favourite jersey dress patterns, and I think this would work really well. You can see how beautifully it's draping. It's on a white background, which is always a little bit dangerous for me because I'm quite messy. I do tend to drop things down myself, but I think this fabric would be perfect for the spring summer. It's really lightweight, so it's making me think actually maybe more for summer when it's warmer, although I could layer it up with a jumper over the top or a jumper underneath, a long sleeve jumper or a cardigan. But I absolutely loved that, and I've got 3 meters, so it's definitely going to become some kind of maxi dress. Just not 100% decided on the pattern. And then I've got this gorgeous, it's called Pink Red Irregular Satin fabric, and I just loved the baby pink colour and then these red spots all over it. I only got 2 meters of this fabric, and this is hopefully going to become a Friday Pattern Company Davenport dress. It's really lovely, silky, feels really lovely against your skin. Again, it's quite lightweight. If I hold it up, you'll be able to see it's got a gorgeous amount of movement and drape. I think this would be absolutely beautiful as a Davenport dress. So hopefully I'll have enough fabric to sew up the Davenport dress. Otherwise, I might turn it into the Anna Allen Anthea dress, because again, I think that would be absolutely gorgeous as the Anthea dress with those beautiful sleeves. And that's got a really lovely curved hem as well, although I'd be a bit scared to sew buttonholes on this fabric because it's a satin. But I absolutely love it. It's got a beautiful amount of shimmer to it as well, and I just love that pink and red together. And then I've got this beautiful, I love the colour of this. It's going to be really difficult to show on camera. It's coming up quite dark, but it's called Cobalt, I can't say it. It's called Cobalt Blue and Boiled Wool Mix. And this is going to become a coat. I nearly said dress. Definitely not becoming a dress. It's going to become a coat. It's got a little bit of stretch to it actually, and a little bit of bounce to it. I don't know if you can see that. But I bought 3 meters of this because I would like to turn it into either going to become the Sew Over It cocoon coat, which I've made once already before, a good couple of years ago, and I absolutely loved that pattern. It was my first experience of making a coat, and it's sewed up so nicely. So I've made that in a green wool before, but I'm going to use this wool hopefully to either turn it into the cocoon coat or the sew over it Anna coat, which is like a trench coat pattern. And again, I've sewn that up using a sort of a burnt orange wool, and I love wearing that coat. It's so warm and cozy when it's really cold outside. Because I've got 3 meters, I'm erring more towards sewing up the sew over it Anna coat, because that's like a full length coat. But I'll lay it out, get both of the patterns out and see which one I'd prefer to sew up using this gorgeous fabric. So those were all of the fabrics that I got from Rainbow Fabrics, and some of them I've got firm plans and some of them I'm sort of 80% sure of what I'm going to sew up with them. And then before I finish with my sewing plans, I've got 2 patterns that I wanted to talk to you about. The first one is a cape pattern. So as I said, with this gorgeous faux fur sort of fabric that I got from Felicity Fabrics, I'd like to turn it into either a coat or I'm thinking about turning it into a cape. And actually, if I've got any of this blue wool left, I might turn that into a cape as well for myself. So I had to look on the fold line and I came across the Waves and Wild Storybook cape. And the reason I really loved this cape is because it's gender neutral, and you can also sew it either for children, but you can also sew it for adults as well. So it starts at age 1 and goes up to adult extra large. There's 4 different lengths and there's 4 different neckline options. It's got a hood option as well, which I really loved. And there's different ways that you can fasten it as well. My favourite way of fastening it is using a toggle button on the top. I feel like I might sew one of these up for my nephew who is 4. I think it'd be really cute to sew it up in some gorgeous wool for him and then send that off. In terms of fabric recommendations, they recommend medium to heavyweight woven fabrics. And I'm really excited about sewing this up for myself, but also for Lola. And then if I find the right fabric that Ruby likes, then I'll sew it up for her as well. So that was the first pattern I wanted to share with you. I have sent it to be printed off because I got it from the fold line and I've done the copy shop option, but I don't actually have the pattern instructions in front of me at the moment. I'll put line drawings in so you can see what it looks like, but it looks like a really fun and beautiful cape, and I've always wanted to sew up a cape, so I'm really excited about that pattern arriving. And then the other pattern I wanted to share with you is a zero waste pattern, and it's a doll pattern, and it's by Liz Hayward, who I hadn't come across before, but she shared beautiful pictures of these gorgeous dolls that she's made using this zero waste pattern. It's her pattern. It's currently on offer. She's got a discount on her shop, so it's £12.14 on Etsy at the moment. But the idea behind it is it's zero waste, so you can use your scraps. It's gender neutral, and it is, the pattern you get is to sew up the doll, but also to sew up some clothes as well. And there's different techniques for adding hair onto the doll as well. The picture that she shared is super cute, so I'll put an image in of what that looks like. But I have already bought this pattern and I'm really excited about using my scrap fabrics to sew up some dolls that I'm going to take into school for the children to use in our storytelling area and our small world play. I'm really looking forward to sewing up. It's something that I haven't sewn before, so I'm really excited about trying it, and I think they'll be really fun to sew up as well. And then the final thing I wanted to share with you was a couple of my sewing plans, which I've talked about in my Vlogmas videos already, but I've spent most of the day cutting up fabric ready to sew up this evening and then hopefully tomorrow. It's my husband's birthday on Tuesday, so I won't get a chance to sew on Tuesday, but I'm hoping to do a little bit this evening as long as I don't feel too poorly from the booster jab, and then hopefully tomorrow as well as long as I don't feel poorly. So I'm just going to grab what I've cut out. So the first thing I've cut out is using this waffle knit fabric that I got from Abercarn Fabric as part of my fabric ambassador role with them. So I was given a £50 gift voucher which bought this fabric, and I'm going to be sewing up 2 dressing gowns, one for myself and one for my husband. And I'm going to be using the larger dressing gown pattern, and I'll put a picture in of what that looks like. And then I've got some fabric from First for Fabrics because I'm going to be making some pyjamas for my family over Christmas. And we're going to be having matching pyjamas, which I'm really excited about. So I got some of this Pontel jersey fabric from First for Fabrics, and it's just in a grey colour because the fabric that I got for the pyjama bottoms is white, but it's got grey in. So I thought this would match perfectly. It's a gorgeous sort of light grey fabric, and I'm going to be using the Studio Jepson KLP T-shirt pattern for myself. and then there's a mini KLP pattern for Ruby and Lola. And then for my husband, I'm using the Studio Jepson Rider T-shirt pattern. I put line drawings in of all of those patterns so you can see what they look like. And I've used them for myself, my girls, and also my husband before, and I know that it's a pattern that works really well for us and it's really comfortable. This is the fabric, if I can hold it up. This is the fabric that I've got for the pyjama bottoms. So it's a white cotton poplin, and then it's got all these Christmas houses all over it with Christmas trees, and then snowmen as well. I think it's really cute. It's quite subtle for Christmas, and I'm really looking forward to sewing up pyjama bottoms for us. So I've used the Tilly and the Buttons Joe pyjama bottoms for my husband, and then for me and Ruby and Lola, I've used the Sew Over It Ultimate pyjama bottoms because they start in a UK 6, which I know will fit both Ruby and Lola, and then I can sew up a version for myself using the same pattern. So they're all cut out, ready to go, and I'm really excited about sewing up some pyjamas for myself, and then also for Ruby and Lola and for James. And then hopefully I'll be able to get a family photo of us in our matching pyjamas, and I'll share that with you. So I'll share progress in my Vlogmas videos over the next couple of days. But those are some of the plans that I've got. And then I've also got my lilac denim Yanta overalls that are still cut out, waiting for me to sew them up. So I'm hoping I'll get time over Christmas to sew those up. And then I've got loads of other things that I'm hoping to get sewn up, but we'll see if I get enough time, because we are going to be catching up with family. Hopefully, we're planning to go and visit family who we haven't seen for a while. So my family live up north, so we're hoping after Christmas to go and see them. My dad's been a little bit poorly recently. He's had some mini strokes, so it's really important to me that we can get up there to go and see him because he's been a little bit poorly. So I've got fingers crossed that we're still able to go and travel. So that is everything that I wanted to share with you for my Sunday Sewing catch up today. Thank you as always for coming back. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, it'd be amazing if you could hit that subscribe button. I'll be back tomorrow with my Vlogmas video, and then hopefully next weekend I'll be able to film, although I'll probably be in my pyjamas, but that will be fine. Hopefully next weekend I'll be able to film a Sunday Sewing catch up, so it'll be episode 25. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll be back soon. Bye.